And we're here on a Tuesday without theme music, but that's okay because it's a there it is. Better late than never. We're stumbling around on a fat Tuesday, and I'm stumbling around like a fat guy who just keeps eating because that's what happens on the lunchbox. We got a busy week. I hope everybody is doing well after the long 3-day weekend. I think my voice might be back. I'm still hacking up a lung, trying to get in to see some medical help. I was at one doctor's office that had nothing to do with my throat and chest today, but he was like, "Sounds like you're hacking up a lung in there. I would go to a doctor if I was you." It's like I'm
It's a
already
good
at a
thing to hear
doctor.
in a medical facility.
Yeah, so everybody likes a wise guy. I try to get to my primary care physician, but of course, they don't have any appointments until next week,
Next May.
and I like, so I have to go to urgent care and spend more money out of pocket when I thought the whole point of these HMOs is like they want to get you to go to your primary care physician. Everybody goes to the primary care physician. There's no slots left. Enough of my fetching. How's your foot and toe? Did you get clearance for full?
I'm close. You know what? I get taped up again, and where it is, just cut the stuff off myself over the weekend, see what happens. But immense improvement. I think I'm going to have to live. I mean, as you get older, you live with certain deformities, and you realize that it's never going to be the same. Man. So, the toe is going to look pretty ugly for probably all the days until I go to my grave, which you think is going to be sooner than later. I think you have the under on 75,
No, no.
but
I was
but it feels fine. I mean, I'm doing my 4 mile walk. Haven't gone back to the tennis courts yet because I'm figuring I don't need to tempt fate there. I would like it to heal up as much as I can have it do before I get out there again. But looks like next week full clearance. So we'll see what
Nice.
happens. Yeah. But I may have to just live with the fact that it's never going to be 1,000%.
So were you ever making a living as a foot model? I don't understand your concerns
Oh
because
no,
my
my feet were
toes.
completely ugly. I mean, first of all, I'm Jewish, so I have flat feet. And that's going to lead to a lot of other problems later on in life. My toes had been affected. Some ugliness there from the gout and the various bouts with the gout. So it was ugly to begin with. It's even uglier now.
Well,
I can assure
this
you.
is very appetizing lunchtime talk for the
Well,
lunchbox
you
crowd.
asked about my toes, man.
I
I mean,
did ask. I didn't
it almost
expect
seemed
that
like
I
you
would
wanted to
get the
come over and
full
lick them, Mike Mayo. But
dissertation. I'm no Rex Ryan. I'm not going to be doing
you
that, my
ask a
friend.
question, people answer it. You get very upset when people actually answer your questions. You like to ask a question, say,
I
"Hey,
could
well,
have
you
just
don't
done
like
with a
this,"
polite,
and then you
everything's
cut the guy
fine.
off before he even finishes like two words.
You ever
You,
You
make
do that.
Dickstein, between you and Dickstein, I'm just going to walk off the
No, but
set.
it's the way you behave. You have to understand
you
this.
ever
I mean, if
make
you ask a guy a question and the guy answers, my friend Don, the Godfather, actually said this. The guy that came over gave me the money on Friday. He said, Mayo say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And you'll start to say something. Go, we don't want to talk about that. But you can't do
Well,
that.
if
You're a
I
show
start
host. You're
asking
a
about the
show host.
weather and you start saying it's all Ron DeSantis's fault, I don't
It
want to hear
is
about
Ron
the problem.
DeSantis' fault. If anything could be somebody's
And
fault,
if I
it's his.
ask you, "How's your foot doing?" you just give me a polite fine. You don't have to tell me about how the
Well, then
toe
don't
jam
ask. I
that's
mean, if
oozing
all you
out.
want is a one-word, answer, then don't ask. I mean, that would be the right thing to do. It's okay. I don't mind not talking about it. But if you ask a guy a question, you should let him answer it. You do this to Lubie too. You do. I mean, come on. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying. You asked me about my foot. I told you about it, and then you're like, "Eh." So
Nice.
I don't know if it's a disease got to your head, but I think you'll find that somewhat habitual if you go back and watch tapes of
I
the show.
simply asked if you ever had a career as a foot model because you seem so
So
concerned
how am
about
I
your
supposed to answer that?
deformity.
No, I mean, okay,
Yeah,
then
just
you
say
have my
no.
answer. All right,
I don't, and just say maybe I am a little too vain about the way
I'm
my
not vain
toe
about it
look.
at all. It's ugly. It's fine. What do I care? I
Hey, you know
mean,
what happens when I wear sandals, Defo?
No
women
idea.
faint. I would
No,
imagine.
people say don't do that because
Oh,
my toes are very ugly too. I haven't had a pedicure in a long time.
Oh well, that's a whole other thing. I mean, that I'm no, I'm no great in that category either.
nice.
But from now on, I will give one-word answers to your questions.
Well,
I'm going to
that's a
relegate myself to that.
oh my god.
I'm not getting sensitive. It's just you always do that. You ask a guy, "Hey, how you doing?" And the guy starts to say, and then before he even finishes, I don't want to talk about that. So I mean, that's a habit. I don't know that you might want to kind of work on a little
Well,
bit.
it's like I want to kind of keep the show moving, and sometimes if you go
Well,
off
I mean,
into
then
Shakespearean soliloquies for like 4 minutes, and I know
that
I
was
do
not a
that.
4 minute soliloquy, but it turned
Yeah,
into like an unfortunate dissertation here about host etiquette. I guess I
you
don't know.
ask Defo, he's going to answer. I'm just being working with him for that. Like, yes, a lot of people will give. That's not. We're trained to talk.
Yeah,
So
talk show.
Look, most of that's the thing is if you're a reporter, you used to have to like beg people to get answers. So I can actually see where Mayo's coming from, where he had to like work to get answers. If you haven't noticed, that's not our problem. Like,
No, you're gonna get an answer. I mean,
I'm gonna give you an answer.
it's called a talk
What do you
show.
want to talk
So
about today? Because I got nothing. I've been wrapped up in meetings
I'm
and
out.
doctor's appointments.
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
You're
I'm gonna let
okay.
you
You
lead
got
the way.
nothing.
Nothing. I mean, I had a wonderful time yesterday, but you don't want to hear about it. I mean, I was going to comment about how great Tom Tanazzini's. I mean, he didn't have time to make the usual stuff, and the gumbo was, I mean, absolutely out of this world. So it was as
I
close
thought it was
close to
jambalaya.
Was that jambalaya or gumbo?
jambalaya. Yeah, the jambalaya was fantastic.
The gumbo is the liquidy one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Jambalaya.
the gumbo.
Gumbo is equally good, but we didn't have any yesterday, so that was too bad.
Yeah, it was. Well, again, he had. Life happens, and sometimes when things get in the way.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was unfortunate, but
Well, I was
he
happy
makes
to,
great stuff. Great stuff.
I was happy to get up there, even though I was, keeling over and had no voice yesterday. But the bottom line is, it was nice to get out. It's nice to visit new places. In this case, it was Copper Point Brewery. They have some excellent beers. Did you have any of those lagers yet that you managed to grift and get? No, actually, I grifted it and I gave it to you. Yes,
that answer would be no.
That's ungrateful. I mean, you got to at least sample the stuff and talk about it.
I mean, I did my walk of life late last night, and I came home, had my usual Budweiser after, which
Okay, you
I
get
find
this new
immensely
product.
refreshing.
See, now you're now this is not showbiz stick. Now I'm actually getting a little bit upset because if you get this new product and it's a lager, it's not one of these IPAs that gives you the bitter face. It's not one of these dark, like Guinness stout kind of things made with coffee grounds. This is a lager. It's the champagne of beers, although that's Miller High Life, not Budweiser. But why wouldn't you just try a can of this stuff? The guy,
Because I wasn't in the mood to drink a lager beer. I mean, I'm not.
What do you think a Budweiser is?
I like it. It's my beer of choice.
What kind of style do you think it is? Is it a Pilsner?
Well, I know it's a lager beer, but I mean, it's fine. I didn't feel like drinking that beer because I knew what I was getting with my Budweiser, and I wasn't sure that it would fit the bill. That's all.
All right.
So I'll try it another time. I mean, I'm very happy the guy gave. I was very impressed with the Copper Point Brewery. And I tell you what, that's a whole nother thing that probably we should talk about is that these guys that run these breweries, I mean, they're sort of in obscure locations. And I'm wondering, can they possibly make enough off of the walk-in traffic to sustain themselves? And I would think no. So that they must be selling these beers on the market somewhere. I mean, I know that six-pack looked very impressive. I am curious to have some because I had a beer there and it was great. If it's the same stuff, it was fantastic. But how these guys, I mean, how they market their product, I guess would be of interest because there are quite a few of them, and I can't see them all sustaining themselves just off walk-in business alone. I don't know how it works, but they must have some kind of distribution that is significant to be able to stay in business and sustain that giant place they need to do all of the brewing on site.
Well, it's nice that they have, the tap room that goes along with their brewing facilities. And as Matt Cox said, we were talking with him yesterday, and he is the, partner, co-owner, brewmaster. He worked a long time near Lubie in the Big Bear Brewing in Coral Springs, where they also brew their own beers in-house. He ventured off on his own. He and his partners managed to actually buy this nice building facility in this warehouse district in Boynton. So now they're able to brew their own beer. And as he mentioned during our discussion yesterday, they distribute it all over the state to various different markets and other I don't know if they have distribution deals with some of the major players. I haven't looked for it in Total Wine, but usually
Ken said they actually have it at Foundry. Like on the tap, they have Copper.
Oh yeah, nice.
They go around. They have salespeople. They try to get into various, restaurants and some of these gastropubs and places like the Foundry that like to have a little bit more of a locally brewed, local products, support local, that whole movement. And so yeah, between selling to places like Ken and where they deliver it in kegs, and then also in distribution points like some of the liquor stores, whether it's Primo Liquors or Crown Liquors or Total Wine. Some of these local breweries get in there. I know that's the case with a bunch of them in Fort Lauderdale. And so yeah, you're right. Their bread and butter is not the walk-in traffic, but they have that available because it's a good, selling point. Like when people go to Amsterdam, they can go to the Heineken brewery, and even though most of the revenue for Heineken Company, which is now, of course, an international
Worldwide.
polyglot, is distribution worldwide, they still have people come in and take the tour and spend a couple of whatever the currency in Holland is now. It's not drachmas, that's Greece. I can't even remember because my head is still screwed up from Robitussin. I don't know what you did to me today between you and Dixie.
I did
My blood
nothing.
pressure.
You asked me a question. I tried to answer it, and
You infuriate me.
and
Just by
not
your
atypical of the beginning of every show. I mean, before I even had a chance to address it, you were already like, I don't want to talk about that. I like, okay, then
when
don't
you start
ask.
describing your your disfigured toes pointing at all these angles and the
You asked me if
boozing and
I
the
was a foot model. I mean, no, what are you supposed to do? Just one word answers from now on, Mayo. The people are all clamoring for it also on the chat line. They just said, you know
They
what,
like
Deep, you're
you
right.
guys fight, actually.
Give it the one word.
that's
One
not
word
what I'm
answer.
They
now
actually
you're like an ex-wife.
fight.
My ex-wife
They
was
like
like when we
to
fight.
Well,
it's
I
like,
understand exactly her position. I mean, maybe it wasn't her.
No,
it wasn't her. It's me. It's always me. That's what I've learned.
You have to
in my-
understand that you're a strange cat, Mayo. I mean, and if you would accept that, it would be a lot easier to have these
When-
conversations and have them go somewhere.
You
as
should have
opposed
heard the
to into
conversation
toilet.
I had. You should have heard the conversation I had with my doctor this morning. Oh my god! But he was hilarious.
Well,
As-
the doctor obviously wanted to pawn you off to some other doctor because he didn't want to treat you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said, "Go find a real doctor."
No, that was
Where were
because
you at? Like Doctor
this was for
Principata, the old med
monitoring
guy?
my,
Yeah.
talking about lunch talk. We've got my prostate issues, but everything is good in that
Now
department.
you're on your prostate from my foot. Unbelievable, man. I don't know where my
God's
foot should
ear.
go. I could fix your prostate.
From your foot to my prostate to God's ear. All right, let's talk
My
about
foot
some
should
food.
be inserted in your prostate for the way that you started this show.
Probably
My
will be.
God.
We're
How
talking
hostile
about
can
my
you get?
dating life. We started talking about my dating life, and I just was explaining that there was none right now, and that I have
Well,
a
I mean,
90-year-old mother.
you're going to have to snap out of this mood. That's what it is. You're going to have to
Well, I said
do a
I have
little-
a
do a
90-year-old
little
mother and a
counseling on the show
17-year-old
here. Yeah.
daughter, and he goes, there's such a thing as hotel rooms.
We got to get you a girlfriend. I think we really do, Mike Mayo.
think
If
I
there are
might.
any single women out there that want to date Mayo, Mike Mayo eats
Who would really
constantly
want
at MikeMayo.com.
Hey, let's talk about
You're going to have
today
good
is-
meals if you date Mayo. I mean, you're going out to some nice dinners, and they're all going to be comped. How great is that?
I've got a stabbing pain in my side now from all this coughing, and I really got to go to urgent care.
Don't take it too seriously, Michael. It's just show business here.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, is that
Yeah.
what this is? I have no idea. And all
Well,
of a
I
sudden,
mean, it's entertainment. It's supposed to be entertainment.
Trying.
right now I'm entertained. I am entertained.
You're entertaining the thought of canceling the show. I know that, but don't do it. Don't let a small critique
Damn,
of your
this
work.
is that
throw you
whole
out.
fantasy when Let's Eat South Florida hits 100,000, like that Banksy
too
shredder with
much.
his portrait.
Too
It's
much,
like
yeah.
shred the whole thing.
I think the pressure is
the whole
getting to
thing.
you. I believe it is.
No way.
A lot of pressure.
Anyway, I mean that was great yesterday, and we talked to a lot of different people. That
I
was
enjoyed
a
the
lot
food
of fun.
truck yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
That guy was
Tom-
good, man. I
Tom,
forgot his name, but he
couldn't
was good.
prepare
Yeah.
a lot of food because of extenuating circumstances. So we go to Plan B, which is whatever is out there on the streets and the sidewalk right out the
That's-
brewery there. Did you try any of those pierogies?
I had a pierogi, and I don't know if I had anything else from the food truck. But like I said, I mean, the thing is, the old pity, as they say in golf, right? It's a pity, that the ball has gone into the lake. Tom's got it going on today for Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I really, I mean, that was a well-run place, that Copper Point Brewery. I mean, congratulations to the owner there. I'm hoping that he's wildly successful because I love the dedication of these people, and the backstory was great. So, those are places that you're hoping the local public will go out and support.
I hope that lager, which he says is their signature beer, the Copper Point Lager, is cool and refreshing. And
if that's what I
quenches
had
your
at the
thirst
place, which I'm
after.
not sure because I don't know that the young
Probably.
lady told me.
Yeah.
But if that's the beer that I had out of the tap, it was great. I mean,
Yeah,
it was one of those beers that didn't have like a lot of bizarre flavoring to it. It just was very smooth and very nice. Tasty.
So today, actually on the calendar, was Mardi Gras translate to Fat Tuesday, and we're still allowed to use that term. Although, did you see the story about how there are now sensitivity workers going over the works of Roald Dahl, the one who wrote Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory, because some of the descriptions about the kids being fat in there, they're now changing the language that they no longer want to use.
Slightly obese.
Yeah, the
obese is a lot more of a harsh term than fat, I think.
Obesity is a medical term, but
yeah,
I think
if somebody says, "Hey, you're a fat slob," you say, "Okay, great," so are you, and so is your mother. Like if you were talking to Weinstein, but if somebody says you're obese, I mean that's an insult, no?
Yeah, that my doctor tells
then
me
you start
that
thinking, you know what? Maybe I ought to shed a few.
And you know what's worse than obese is morbidly obese. Because
and that comes up on without really being all that fat. I can assure you.
Well,
right?
these BMI, these scales that they use, where it's if you're above a certain height, and it's really not fair to the height challenged among us, like me. Because I think there are people who are just naturally like a little bit wider and chunkier, and they just have the wider frames, and it's not fair to judge them on that chart just because you're only 5'7" or 5'8".
But guys that are 5'7" or 5'8" that get labeled morbidly obese always say, "Well, the proportion is."
That's me.
It's like a built-in excuse, man. I've done
right
that
on the
man.
edge.
Yeah,
Well, I considered myself for the longest time. I called it fat fit, which is where I am.
That's also a misconception.
I eat where no, it's not a misconception. When I was running half marathons or waddling half marathons,
that's good.
and I was pushing close to 200 pounds, and you see most of these lanky 6'2" guys and with their long legs and strides and just coasting on home, and I'm like working like the penguin in Batman or something like that. But
you were like the Butterbean Esh of running.
Yeah, but I made it through. I could do my 13-1 in one shot. And
that's amazing.
Sometimes
I can't even conceive of it.
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, it's nothing to write home about, but I could still get it done. And I was still at that point doing about like 190 on the scale. And that's my goal again, is to get back to the ones on the first digit.
That's a tough one, man.
I'm a long way away now. I got on the scale today for the first time.
Higher than you were when we had the bet? You don't look that way. Yeah, you look like you'd be okay. Yeah.
No,
maybe about even. Yeah.
It's all that black clothing. It hides it well. But anyway, I'm not afraid of the word fat. I think it's a descriptor that if the shoe fits, wear it.
Fat is fat.
Except if you have Defoe's deformed toes, but we're not going to talk about that anymore.
See, you keep bringing it up. You're so funny.
There, like you're the worst. Like, and then people react.
You don't see what you do. I understand why your wife left you. I really do. And now I've had 2 of them leave me. So, and the third one is on the, very much on razor's edge. But I understand why she left. Michelle, we're with you, and we completely have the picture.
We feel her pain.
Yeah.
Anyway. Today, literally Fat Tuesday. All over the world, Carnival is in Brazil, and Mardi Gras is in
Venice.
New
Has
Orleans.
a big thing going on. Venice, Italy.
Venice has their Carnival.
Is it all in conjunction? I mean, what's the deal on
Yes. Obviously, you're Jewish. You have no idea what's going on. Because
no, but I knew about Mardi Gras. I didn't realize all these carnivals were related.
Well, it's tied in because it's related to the calendar, the Catholic calendar. You know what happens the day after Fat Tuesday, right?
Lent
tomorrow.
Right? Isn't that Lent? Ash Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday. Very good.
Yeah.
So that
and your Lent entry is a joke.
What's that?
What are you giving up?
Let the people know. I mean, this is what you decided to give up for 40 days. I could give this up for 40 years and not regret it. Are you kidding me?
I like to put a little bit of a gag on there, and people were chiming in on the Let's Eat group, but I was saying that even though I'm not Catholic, I like the whole idea of sacrificing something,
a Jew,
giving up something for the. I don't know how many days that exactly it is. It goes from Ash Wednesday till I'm not even sure.
I think it's 40 days, right?
It's 40 days.
Yeah.
40 days.
I think it probably goes until like Good Friday or Easter Sunday.
Yeah, but can you only give up like one item? I mean, like one particular item? That seems odd.
The way it works, and this is because I know Michelle.
I mean, you might give up fish or seafood or whatever, but
during the Lenten period, Catholics are not allowed to eat meat on Fridays. So that is why you have Fish Fridays, and a lot of restaurants will serve clam chowders and fish specials on Fridays. Okay. So that's during the Lenten period, which will start now tomorrow, going through Good Friday, and then Easter Sunday is the culmination of the holy period. But no fish, no meat on Fridays. But Catholics, and Michelle is Catholic, and my daughter sometimes, she calls herself Catholic. She They are supposed to give up something meaningful to them during
Yeah.
the Lenten period. And I don't mean to crack wise, because I said last year I gave up liver, and the year before that I gave up rutabagas.
Two
But I
things you would
actually,
never eat. Yes.
of course, so it is a total joke. However, upon reflection and just seeing the general downward spiral of my physical being, I have decided I am going to actually make an effort this year. I'm giving up something meaningful this year, starting tomorrow for 40 days, with the
Okay.
exception of one day. But I'll talk about that later. But can you guess what it is?
Fried
And-
foods, I'm going to say.
Well, I tried. I think actually in
Didn't
reality,
you do that
last,
once before? And it did. Oh,
last
that was
year-
during the time, the challenge, the weight loss challenge,
last year, I
which you
actually
lost when you gained weight during the 30-day period by giving up fried foods. Yeah.
I don't know if I gained weight, but I did lose as much as I was hoping for.
This isn't Weight Watchers, though. That's the beauty of it. You can eat what you want, Mike Mayo. We like it that you eat your face off. It's
It
fantastic.
makes no sense that I can't even shovel down 5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Yet
I live
can manage to
vicariously through you
gain
on
weight
food. Yeah, it's
during
great.
a weight loss challenge. I am a strange. You are right. I'm a strange bird and odd
Strange
dog.
cat, no doubt. We're all
Racist.
strange cats.
Racist.
That's like
You're the
being
one
called
who's like
fat.
chanting off how many minutes until the first race at Parks, like
Oh, yeah.
10 minutes to Wapner, like you're in Rain Man. or
Well,
something
Andy
like
said if you want to give up something meaningful, give up superfectas. But it's got to be a food.
I've
item,
never.
right?
I'm not a superfecta player. You know me. I'm a pick. 4,
I've seen
pick
you,
5.
get involved. In that, yeah.
Trifectas are my bread and butter. But
Yeah.
no,
But what do you
in
think
all
about
serious,
What are you
all right,
talking
so give 'em up.
seriousness, I'm giving up alcohol for Lent. I am going to do.
Not an alky, but you do.
That's funny.
So that would be an interesting thing.
What's
I
great
am
about you
s-
is it doesn't take more than half a drink to get you bombed. When you're at the track on those Fridays, I look forward to it because you're not in the kind of mood you were in to start the show this morning, where it's like,
get
okay.
ready for cranky
Yeah.
Mike, because I am going to be sober.
Oh no,
Stone
please
cold
don't say
sober
that.
for
You
40
change your mind.
days.
Give up anything else. All right.
Yeah, and the exception of the one day is I've already been invited to a nice wine dinner coming up at a new
All right. So
restaurant.
then it's already out the window. So why even bother
No,
with it?
because I'm going to be sober today, so I'll count today, Fat Tuesday, as one of the 40 days, and then that
And
one
then
wine
quit.
day. I'm banking it. I'm banking
Yeah.
that one day of drinking in the middle of it, so it'll be.
You're way better though when you have a beer before the show, or when we go out on location, or some kind of drink. And that Bloody Mary, whatever he puts in that at Gulfstream Park, I think it enhances your performance immensely. It does.
For sure.
Those shows are far more fun. We
But
don't get
then
into these
that's
stupid
when I know
arguments.
I might
Yeah.
have a problem if I think
can't
that
have
I'm better or I need something.
No. I'm much better with inebriants in my system. Yeah. I've been performing for 50 years. Believe me, I know. The more
He's trying
inebriants,
to
the
drag
better.
me back into the I'm trying to do something like
Evil
it's a
always
little bit.
does.
But it's
I
always
think it would
misguided,
improve my
Mayo. It's always
health.
misguided. It's erroneous thinking that if you give up alcohol, you're going to be better off. You're not. You don't drink that much that I've seen. I mean, I've seen you tank down a few, but
I've never said I'm going to be better off. I just want.
I wish you'd make a drink right now, man, and have it. This first half hour of the show is
I
already
have
blown.
a nice hot tea with honey and lemon.
Oh God, come on, Lubie, help me with this.
What do you think, Lubie?
I'm just as long as he doesn't mess with his food, because we learned when he tried to eat healthier, it really made the shows boring.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you can't eat. I want you to control your portions, and I want you to do moderation. But the cutting out of this and that, then what the hell do we do during the shows?
This
The
is like an
alcohol-
intervention for Mayo.
You know, I would cut out a certain kind of alcohol, because once in a while, we do these events, like they're going to want you to have a glass of wine. They're going to want
a
you.
glass of wine, a beer. Come
You
on.
guys are dragging me down. You don't think I could do it?
I think
I know you can do it.
I just want you to bore us.
I don't want to take the 40 days off on
Totally
the show.
honest.
Yeah.
You have to do a show every day.
I could still talk plenty about food and eat plenty of food and eat on the air and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, well, we'll see. I'll take it under advisement, all the different things. Maybe I should just cut out brown liquor.
Cut out carbs. Cut out something. I don't know.
Car-
Yeah.
Don't do carbs.
Not cutting out carbs. You see me, you think I'm grumpy today. You should see me without carbs. Oh, my God.
All right.
I can bite people's heads
Try
off.
like the South Beach diet. Is that still around? The South Beach diet?
Yeah, that's called keto, South Beach,
Yeah.
Atkins. Atkins, look what happened to him. He cracked.
Well,
his
what
head on
about
the
that glow
sidewalk.
thing? Have you looked into that at all as a food critic, where everybody claims they lost like 200 pounds on TV?
Which
What
one
is
is the
that?
glow thing? No,
It's advertised all the time on television. I mean, every other ad is for this glow.com.
maybe if you watch TVG, but I haven't seen it. I have
Almost any channel. I've seen it just about everywhere where, they have a woman. And I always respect this. I mean, somebody that makes a transformation like that, it's great. I mean, terrific for their health if they can pull it off. They have one guy lost like 100 pounds. This woman lost 50. And I'm not sure what the diet entails. I don't know. Is it just a supplement you take, or
I'm gonna
is that an
Google it
actual
during the
diet?
break. I have no idea
Check
what
it
you're
out. Yeah,
talking
check it
about.
out.
I've never seen the commercial. I've heard of,
We might,
obviously, keto, which is
yeah.
a low-carb diet. I've heard of the intermittent fasting thing has become all the rage, where people basically starve themselves for 2 days, maybe just have some liquids, but
I
then,
thought that was like a daily thing though, where you just don't eat for like
oh,
16
well, then
hours. Yeah,
there's some people, right, where you just
that
all
would
you
work
do.
though. I could see that working. That's
That's
doable.
kinda like the Ramadan thing where you can only eat, when it's, sundown to sun up and not during daylight hours, but the intermittent fasting, most people, you eat in that window between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., and then that's it
And
for
then
the
shut it
day,
down.
so
If you did
and
that,
then
I
shut
mean,
it
if you
down.
didn't eat after like 5, 6 o'clock at night every night, no matter how much you ate during the day, it probably would balance itself out.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's that plunge at 9 o'clock at night
Yeah,
where
that's
you're
the
Well,
thinking, I'll just have one bite of this potato
that's the
salad.
worst.
my
Yeah.
weakness is the ice cream, and usually that hits at about, 10 o'clock. I need a little bit
Well,
of
and you do like everything, like I do, kind of. But I mean, you bear have no boundaries when it comes to this stuff, which is
Hey,
great.
but you know what? If I do wanna eat healthy, and if I do wanna, eat, have those meatless Fridays, the best place to go is our new sponsor, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market,
Oh
because
Oh,
yeah,
that is
great
the
spot. Yeah.
place.
Wow, I can't
We're
wait to
gonna
get there.
be there
oh, it's
on
red meat.
Thursday.
It's red
Yeah.
meat. So it leaves Delaware wide open then for
Oh,
your.
yeah, no, well, look, first of all, Delaware has everything in their
Yeah,
butcher case. They have red meat,
yeah,
they
they
have
do.
lamb chops, they have sausages, but the nice part for people who are shopping for the whole week, and if you're observing the Lenten period, you go in there, you can stock up on all your Friday seafood treats and the fish. Everything comes in fresh. You can see, check it out, basically in person every day. They're open, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from the old Seminole Bingo Parlor, now known as Seminole Classic Casino. DelawareChicken.com. You could go check out the website for the weekly circular, along with the daily catch. They always are posting what's the fresh thing, the freshest catch that's been delivered that day. Sometimes they have these flash sales on fresh fish because they want to be able to keep moving the inventory, whether it's the snapper coming in from the Keys, the grouper coming in from the Gulf Coast, or some of the great cuts of the great fillets, mahi coming right from our shores right here off the Atlantic, swordfish, etc. And don't forget the fresh stone crab claws of all sizes. We're going to be there Thursday, setting up and talking and having our first remote show. We're going to be meeting one of the managers there, Gene, and he'll be, I guess, showing up with some of their delicacies. They have a lot of prepared items you could take home, like
I'm
those
planning on
fish
bringing a
sticks.
box. I really am.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, and they are looking forward to having us out
Yeah.
there. We love being associated with good people, and the Carters, Doug Carter, his family has been involved and running the show there for a long, long time. The store first opened in 1951, and again, it's a place where they know your name, they know your preferences, they'll take good care of you. That kind of small town, family friendly store, but right here in the heart of the big metropolis. Delaware Chicken and Seafood, open 7 days. Give them a call, 954-983-6831, 983-6831 for your you could have your curbside delivery order prepared for you, so you could pull up and you don't even have to go inside and mess around and checking out all the different items. You could just have it delivered right to your car door any day of the week. DelawareChicken.com, and tell them that the Lunchbox and Mike Mayo sent you.
I like that you were too timid to actually admit what you put up that you were giving up for Lent. So we'll come back. Maybe we'll get that answer when we come back in a moment.
Alcohol. I said it.
No, that isn't what you put up on Let's Eat South Florida. Come
Oh
on.
no, I don't even know what I put on
Which
there.
is
That
great.
was just a joke.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, we'll be back after these words. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. And we're back on the Lunchbox, a marvelous Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. I don't know.
You don't have any Mardi Gras stuff. I mean, you didn't prepare
got
anything. You didn't go to like Shuck and Dive or something, local place. What are you bringing on the show here, Mike Mayo? Come on.
I went to the doctor. I tried to go to another doctor. I was on the weekly conference call.
How
with
are
the
you
best
feeling? I
of
mean,
infectious
you seem better.
Not good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Can't you
I'm sorry
tell?
to hear
I'm
that.
grumpy. I haven't been asleep.
Oh
in
no,
a while.
that's not
I'm
unusual.
hacking up a lung. I have right now.
A friend
I'm stabbing
said
pains in my
It was getting
sides.
ugly. I mean,
rib
but it
cage.
really wasn't. It was just typical. You know, when
Well,
you don't have something to eat or drink.
no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But giving up Skyline chili for Lent, I mean, is an insult to
that's
you know
what you would
everybody.
give
It's an
up.
insult to the gods
Really eat there.
that govern these sort of things. That I mean, come on, Michael. You had to be. I know you were pulling people's chain there, but you know, it did seem really ridiculous. I mean, you know, insulting to virtually everybody. Never mind calling somebody fat.
No, I just because I had that very satisfying dish of Skyline chili the other week, and I was like, man, I could kind of
That
eat
one
this
picture
every
did
week.
not look appealing at all. That one picture where you had like kind of the bite taken out of it.
A half the hot dog.
See, when it's just set up, not even the hot dog, it was the supposed
Just
chili itself.
Yeah, the spaghetti.
You know, it's funny if they put like real chili on there, it would actually be like a desirable thing. I think, you know, it's that cinnamon chili, whatever the crap is. You know that it's so disappointing when you're like, wait a minute, this is
I
supposed
don't
to
want
be
to go
chili.
back. I don't
Yeah.
want to go back to this well.
But
again.
giving it
Yeah,
up
I'm
for
gonna cut
Lent,
it off
I mean,
again.
is a disgrace, don't you think, Lubie? What do you think? I mean,
Yes,
am I
and it
wrong
was
about this?
facetious.
There's
It was.
There's
It
no
was
way. He doesn't even eat
People take
Skyline.
you seriously, though. I mean, you know, they thought that's what you were doing.
I think I eat the stuff twice a year. And,
Look at what happened with Tiger and the tampon thing. I mean, everybody blew that up like it was the worst thing that ever happened. It was a joke.
I must be living under a rock. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I want to ask what happened.
Okay, we'll leave it alone.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a nothing incident. I thought. I thought it was pretty clever on Tiger's part to even have the tampon on him. He gave it to Justin Thomas because he loved Justin Thomas, so he like slipped it to him on the fairway. A joke.
I don't
People
even
went
know
crazy.
what we're talking about. And again, more lunchtime. You know, we've gone from your feet to my prostate to Tiger's tampons. Let's get back to food. So if you want to celebrate Mardi Gras today with a traditional New Orleans feast, you can do it in many places around Broward. Not many places, actually. There's Shuck and Dive, which is you're cracking up. You don't want to talk about the great different New Orleans cuisine. A lot of people associate Mardi Gras with New Orleans for a good reason because it's the biggest celebration.
Oh, Shuck and
And,
Dive is a good spot. Everybody
like
agrees
Shuck and
that it
Dive.
is. Yeah.
It's been
One of the
there a
places
long
are there.
time.
Like I know Even Keel does a good job with their oysters and they dabble in it, but like that's why I love Tom T because you don't get a lot of that stuff.
Well, when it's the pure like New Louisiana type cooking, not many places. There was a place in Hallandale that tried to make a go of it. It lasted about 2 months or 3 seconds. I don't know. It was on former place that was known as Nick's on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. They tried to turn into some also Louisiana Cajun place last year, and just I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know why the food isn't
What
more
happened to Boat
popular.
Camper's place there on Los Angeles?
Oh,
It
and
was a
that
high
one
end,
also,
like supposedly high end New
yeah,
Orleans.
the balcony
Is that
where
still there?
Well, he's reconfigured it. It's become more of like a high-end sports bar. They still have the upstairs, the thing overlooking Las Olas Boulevard,
Yeah.
but they've gotten rid of the whole kind of New Orleans Cajun concept menu because for some reason they
It's
hired
worth it.
not somebody who had worked in Louisiana or New Orleans, but a British guy who used to work on cruise ships. So that was,
There you
I,
go. So you're
I
getting the
guess,
shepherd's pie on
yeah.
Fat
So
Tuesday.
now they had some actually good dishes. Some of
Yeah.
the andouille sausage appetizer, but they've gone away from that concept, and now they've become more of like a just high end gastro pub with dishes from all over the world. So yeah,
Surprisingly,
you're
not that many. I mean, Tom T is like going to New Orleans. It really
yeah.
is. I mean, it's
Tom
an amazing
T.
job he does. But there aren't that many Louisiana, Cajun oriented places.
And there
Overall,
used to be more.
you
There
think
used
there'd
to
be
be
more? Yeah.
There used to be a place, downtown Fort Lauderdale called Creolina's that was wildly popular. That was back in the '90s and early 2000s, and then they ended up moving. They lost their location down on Himarshi. They went out west somewhere, and then it just kind of, faded away, which is unfortunate. There was a place out west called Rosie Babies that used to do crawfish boils and had a bunch of, Cajun Creole cuisine, and I don't think they still exist. Did you ever go out there? They had a lot of good music, Defo, that would be up uh,
I mean, really, the only place, everybody always talked about Shuck and Dive, and I went there, and I always enjoyed it. I thought it was a good experience for New Orleans stuff, and then fortunately for them and future business, at least coming from me, we ran into Tommy T, and it wasn't that bad of a jog up there yesterday. So I would go out of my way to get this guy's stuff because it's so authentic. I mean,
yeah, Rosie Baby is permanently
It's
closed.
close.
It
Yeah,
used to
it's
be
close.
on University Drive in Lauderhill, and that hung in there for a long time. So yeah, you're right. I just think there is opportunity out there. I know Tom T kind of came back out of retirement to do this as like a hobby, but he's cooking now. It seems like 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week between going back and forth between those two breweries up there in Boynton, Copper Point today, and then usually he's right down the street at Nobo Brewing. But in terms of the bricks and mortars, there's more. There are some restaurants that are calling themselves like Southern cuisine, and they have like that
They'll have New
mix
Orleans
of
in.
a little bit of the North Carolina, some of the like fried or barbecue stuff, and then they'll have some New Orleans Cajun stuff, but not the full on like what we see at Shuck and Dive. And then they do the proper job also with the
Yeah, they do a good
crawfish dishes and the oysters Bienville, the things
job.
that you kind of love to
Yep,
get at Acme Oyster
yep,
House,
yep, yep.
grilled oysters. So
Acme for me is straight up the grilled oysters.
Yeah.
I don't go for anything other than that. I'm not a huge raw oyster guy, although I will eat them that way. But the grilled oysters, the first time I had them, they had me at hello there at Acme. Now, other places do them well. I think Acme is among the best. Felix's has a little different take on it. And then there are, many other restaurants that do grilled oysters there. But I always found, even though I know you don't like the place, Acme to be very, very satisfying on all of the stuff that they present.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They do
The
a good
po'
job.
boys and all of that stuff. I mean, tourist trap or not, there's a reason they're lined
now,
up 80 deep there.
what I want to know, because obviously they do celebrate Carnival, like you mentioned, in other places, and Venice has a big celebration, and obviously Rio in Brazil has a huge one. Do people? I guess I would imagine that if you go into some a Brazilian restaurant today, some of these
Uh,
places that they do the rodizio, the sliced meats,
Oh,
that
yeah.
that might be a good place to celebrate a Fat Tuesday. And there's a couple of these new places that opened up in Fort Lauderdale. One of them is called Lasso Gaucho on Sunrise
It's like a
Boulevard.
glut of these kind of Brazilian
Yeah.
steakhouses now.
Fago de Chao is
A
a
lot of them.
kind of luxury
Yeah.
chain that just opened on Las Olas. And then near me in the new Dania Point, the shopping complex and restaurant entertainment complex there is a place called the Rodicio Grill. That's also kind of a more affordably priced, not as
I ate there.
upscale.
Buddy,
Yeah.
buddy had a bunch of people there. I've always been curious about because to me the point is the meat, but the quality of the meat isn't universal. Like I've been to the Texas de Brazils, which are more of a chain. I've been to the smaller ones, and so you assume the meat's got to be good, right? If you're paying 40 and even the cheap ones are still $40.
I assume nothing these days.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. The meat quality to me, it's like I don't understand. I'm so confused by it. Like,
Well, I used to go, and it's still there, and it's done an admirable job. Is Chima on the way eastern portion of Las Olas
That
Boulevard?
was one of the original spots to do that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, here
Chima, Chima,
always
and
a
it
high
was one of
quality.
those.
I thought it was good.
And their meats were always high
Yeah.
quality. My understanding is that this new Lasso Gaucho and also Fago de Chao, those are the two newcomers in Fort Lauderdale. One's right across from the Galleria Mall there on Sunrise Boulevard. The other one is right on Las Olas, right in the heart of downtown. That both of them have pretty good quality meat. I haven't been into either one of them, which is surprising. I wanted to get in there one time with our poker crew because they kept winning and cashing, and I got to give congratulations to one of our crew, Eric. He
Again?
chopped up a Eric. He comes out sometimes to even keel, but he chopped up a big one on Sunday at the Hard Rock. It was one of these multiple days, and there was I don't know how much in the prize pool, but I think him and like four other players chopped up about 22
nice.
sticks each, 22 grand on a $250
$22,000
buy-in.
each.
Oh
Wow.
my
So I might have to get Eric, drag him out to take us out to either the Lasso Gaucho or Fago de Chao, because I wouldn't mind just stocking up on some meats, especially if I'm not going to be drinking booze for the next 40 days.
I don't think you're going to make that promise. I really don't think you're going to make good on that. So why even attempt it?
Because it's good to have
Would you
goals.
attempt 8 feet in the high jump right now? I mean, you would have no chance of clearing.
One of
3
my
feet,
favorite
yeah. I mean, you're not Valerie Brumel, my friend.
I don't think I'm this challenge is not quite on the same level of impossibility as clearing an 8-foot high jump, but maybe you
You do the
think it is.
Fosbury flop. You go over backwards. Maybe.
But no, I think this is a reasonable goal. I think it would be beneficial to both me and my internal organs and my overall well-being. It's like in the movie Diner. It was one of my favorite movies, and one of my favorite lines is, "If you don't have dreams, Boogie, you have nightmares." So my dream is to just follow
When you're 10
through.
days into this, though, I think that's when we start to distance ourselves.
Well, I think
There will
you
be no
might-
more live remotes. We'll do all of these shows from wherever we're at.
Well, I'm not that crabby without the Bloody Mary, or like
You get a
tomorrow
little
will be the
nervous. You get a little
start.
nerved out. I mean, I understand. I've been in the
You're
business.
gonna try to make me crack on the first day at even keel tomorrow.
No,
right?
you know what? Whatever you want to do, Michael, I'm all for it. Whatever you think is going to bring you about tranquility and peace. I mean, we're all seeking the same thing in this life, right? We just want to get out of it in one piece. And if that's the way you're going to go about it, that's fine. Far be it from me to criticize anybody for doing anything. Trust me. I mind my own business at this point. Well, whatever
Live
you
and
want to
let
do is
live.
okay with me, as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody else. I mean, I really believe in that.
That's a good philosophy. Hey,
Yeah.
one of my other philosophies is it's good to be in a place where diversity is celebrated, and we welcome everyone under the sun, and we like to taste
Hard to do in
every
Florida
dish,
these days with the governing body.
goodness for Visit Lauderdale.
except
You're
for
really
the local.
defying the philosophies of the state here. By
I
getting
love
into
it.
diversity,
No.
but they do a great job here.
And that's what's great.
Lauderdale, I mean, with the Fort Lauderdale and Nikki
Visit
Mohans here.
Lauderdale.
Yeah,
The
Visit
Greater
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau. They want to welcome everyone under the sun, because that's what we're all about in this neck of the woods.
We're all in it
So
together. Yeah.
it means all you foodies out there, culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados like Defo, who's going to definitely try his craft beer. Come one, come all, and get ready to savor every flavor and every moment that we have here in Greater Fort Lauderdale. There's more than 4,000 area restaurants just waiting for you to explore them. Places with dockside dining, breathtaking views along the Intracoastal and the Atlantic, lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, like our friends, like we were saying, Fogo de Chao, the Brazilians. You can have a little carnival today, along with also the Argentinians with Barry's Grill, where we were earlier this year with Nikki Mohan. And again, places like with the high-end chefs, my friend Team Baloo at the Catherine, and also Evelyn's at the Four Seasons Hotel with Brandon Solomon. He's doing such great
Rings,
work
by the
there.
way, on Let's Eat South Florida from the various people that have visited on your recommendation.
Oh, good. So
A lot of positive.
this is what it's all about here. We are raising the culinary bar in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Visit Lauderdale. We'll be with Neki Mohan next week with
Yes, sir.
Warren Thompson, who has now become a major player in the local restaurant scene. And besides Willie T's Seafood Shack, which we're going to be, we'll be out there next Tuesday with Neki talking about his backstory, his family history, celebrating Black History Month next Tuesday, the 28th, with Warren Thompson. But Warren Thompson is also partnered up with Mike Linder, and they are now partners in Canyon and also this new restaurant, South Bar and Kitchen up in Pompano, that's getting ready to debut next month. And
Where's
they
that at?
are it's
This
going to
one,
be on Atlantic, but west of Dixie in that little
West of Dixie.
alcove.
Okay.
It's right near where there used to be that Casamigos food truck, but back there's a whole bunch of brick and mortar restaurants. That one of
Yeah.
them that is putting the finishing touches on now is South Bar and Kitchen. That's a joint venture between the Mike Linder and Warren Thompson's people. They have a new hospitality venture, and Jim Sarni tells me that
saying it's in
the
Portland,
menu, the menu is going to have a heavy Louisiana influence with
Nice.
Cajun and
There you
Creole.
go.
And I'm going to be getting a sneak preview of that place next month because Mike invited me out there, and I'm looking forward to that. And that might be the night where wine is involved, but maybe I'll just forsake it too. But
Stop kidding
anyway,
yourself. Stop kidding yourself.
that's it. One night exception, and again, I'll bank it because I won't drink tonight. So that'll be my one time I could party in the middle of Lent. Okay, Visit
Call us
Lauderdale.
when you pick up the drinking again.
All right.
Yeah, and why don't we just suspend this relationship until then?
That's it. Come stay
Yeah.
and play. Greater Fort Lauderdale. You should tell, anybody in your orbit, this is the perfect time of year to get down there.
Yep.
There's so much going on. And don't forget, we got the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, the hidden speakeasies, the rooftop bars. It's gorgeous time of year to be outside imbibing on some of those rooftops. And they keep opening more and more of them. They're going to be opening one there right at that, when we were in at S3 at the Hilton there. The restaurant people are going to be opening a rooftop bar there at the beachfront Hilton in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be great. And that's all part of the never-ending culinary and libation celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. So for all the latest events and promotions, go check out visitlauderdale.com.
All right, coming back with more here. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, a feisty edition of the program. And tomorrow I'll be at the Even Keel Fish Shack. That's Commercial Boulevard A1A. Thursday, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Looking forward to that. And then Friday, Gulfstream Park. So a lot of road shows coming up, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Well, I just got some really interesting news on the chat line that I looked up on Google and confirmed that
Never heard that before.
the
Ever.
Lenten period is now contains an exemption from abstinence and fast on Sundays. And
okay.
Again, this is from a 2020 article in the
Because it's 40
Advertiser.
But why is a Jewish guy worried about Lent? I have to ask you that. I mean, how confused from a religious standpoint can you be?
It says Catholic.org. Are Sundays part of Lent? No, Sundays.
I mean, you're
are
eating
not part of Lent.
matzahs and Passover and all that stuff. I mean, well, why
according
would you
to
have to observe this?
According to the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, the Sundays of Lent are certainly part of the time of Lent, but they are not prescribed days of fast and abstinence. That's allegedly a quote from March
Are you
2020.
going to
So
have
maybe
the ash mark on your head tomorrow? On the
no,
show?
but maybe
No?
I could just start having a little bit of a couple of Bloody Marys on a Sunday. I
Please,
can even get them
please,
at a
yeah.
Houston's on a Sunday. Hey, you know what?
I hope
Maybe
there's a
I could
lingering
carve out.
carryover. Yes.
Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe I do a little partial abstinence and sobriety, and then carve out the Mondays and Tuesdays for
Why do it at
half-price
all? I mean, just forget about it.
half-price wine night. Here, see where I'm going with this, DJ.
Yes, I
I
know.
understand,
We got
yeah.
1 minute, and we got to get in our good words about our friends at Tropical Acres. I might even
Please,
celebrate
yes.
Mardi Gras tonight. Have
All right.
myself a fat little Tuesday with a fat little fillet and a half-price
Ooh,
bottle of wine
nice
at
idea. Now you're
at
thinking.
Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. Don't forget they are open every day but Sunday, and they open the doors for the happy hour in the bar from 4:30 to 6:30, and also early bird in the dining room the first hour. You get extra goodies with your meal, and then of course you got the regular dining service begins at 5:30. But Tropical Acres is the place to go for fresh cut steaks, chops, prime rib, and seafood. They have lobster tails. They have all kinds of good seafood that you can have on a Friday there if you're observant during the Lent period. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport, 995. And yeah, that half price wine night, it might be calling my name for my
There you
swan
go.
song.
Your swan
Get
song.
myself a little fillet with a little hash brown skillet on the side, some cream spinach. That's some good stuff.
I
Tropical
think your
Acres.
rabbi's going to be upset with you.
Hey,
You're
I'm
touting
all for
observance
this.
of
I
all
think
this
my rabbi,
Catholicism.
he might be a little upset
Did he
by
turn his
the
back on you too? I mean,
the
what
the
happened?
pork sandwich I had yesterday for
All
my
right.
first lunch, and then the good cheeseburger I had
So
after
here you
that.
don't even observe Jewish dietary laws or whatever, and
Obviously.
now you're a devout Christian. I mean, you should move to Orlando, Mike. You really should.
I am now.
They
No,
have a
I
great
observe.
dieting scene. It's all where chains begin. They test market them
Exactly. Every
in
chain goes.
Orlando to see if all of those fools would go there. Yeah.
We have no, and my dietary law is this: if it looks good, eat it, and if
Yes.
it feels right, do it. So that's
People live vicariously through all of those, I mean, plunging, meals that you have, and what's great, that last, commercial block that we had, the sponsor block, every shot has the three of us just chowing down on like 12 plates that are on the table. And that's what this show is all about, Mayo. I mean, it's not
no,
about, my religious observance of Lent, please. I mean, what are you talking about here? You've lost it.
We need, what we should do is make a rule where Sundays, if you want it to be Sundays, and 12 to 1 are wide open for
wide
Mayo.
open for doing whatever I want. But again, if I'm giving up the drinking, I can still eat as much as I want. So that's
Are
we'll
you
see.
doing it for health reasons, religious reasons? I mean, you said you wanted to get to
No, not
sub
religious reason.
200.
I'm not Catholic. I'm not religious at all.
So confused, Mike.
I like the concept of sacrifice, of giving up something for a period, whether it's, during the period of Ramadan, the Muslims give up food and drink during daylight hours, which is, that's a heavy duty test.
That's a tough
Of course,
one.
Jews, Jewish people have our days of fasting, not just Yom Kippur. There's a bunch of fasting holidays on the menu, on the calendar. I just never follow any of them, but I think it's a worthy and noble concept to sometimes deny yourself something. To what purpose?
Talking to the wrong person.
What purpose? I don't
It's kind of like, some of these things. It's like the gun laws. I mean, some of these things were designed for completely different purposes, and are so outdated at this point. I mean, originally, right? Jews didn't eat pork because it was contaminated, so they just said, "Hey, listen, nobody eat pork."
A dirty animal, and that you
Yeah.
could get disease from it because they root in their own.
Okay, so
feces.
you're just ruling out. But I mean, I don't know. Is it practical today? It seems like they've managed to, overcome whatever it was that was happening in the Middle Ages.
I've eaten plenty of bacon and pork without getting nary an illness from it. So
I never have a problem with it. Yeah,
works for me. But you know what? I never denigrate anybody's religious
I'm all for
beliefs
trying.
or
No, that's fine.
practices.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody wants to do, and if that's what
It's all good.
they can do for it. But meanwhile, yeah, did I ever notice that when there's talk about giving up something, none of us ever talk about giving up any form of gambling, whether it's superfecta.
Well, why even bother living if you're going to give up gambling?
Hey, we're out of time for today. And I will.
Fine job, Mayo. A fine job on the show.
This is a period, again, just like during the Jewish high holy days of time of reflection, atoning for sins, asking for forgiveness, righting wrongs. Now that we are heading into the Lenten period tomorrow, today is Fat Tuesday, I do want to offer my apologies to both Lubie and Defo for any time I step on you, for any time I ask an open-ended question and maybe try to steer things back to topics at hand
You
without
shouldn't
getting
ask any
anybody in
questions of
trouble.
either of us. No, you really shouldn't. I mean, if you just would refrain from that, then we could just sit here, and it would be great.
We could just sit here and
perfect
daven.
show.
We could just sit here
yep,
and pray.
yes, no.
It's-
It'd be like Donald Trump at a deposition. I mean, just we'll just
Why do you
take
have
the
to
fifth.
bring up that name? Why do you have to bring up these names that cause me nothing but?
Because that's what the position that you put us in. I mean, it's crazy.
We could have been talking about the wonderful. Go see the makra shoe or whatever, the crab and the corn with Tom T up at the Copper Point Brewing today.
Oh man,
He's got
it's
a
so
full
tempting
menu.
to drive up there. It really is.
I'm tempted myself. Instead, I'm going to go over to my urgent care clinic and hopefully
You need to get
some-
well. I think that was the general conclusion that the people have that viewed today's show. You need to get well, Mike. Man.
I need to get right.
You are so bent out of shape about a lot of things at this point. I mean, I'm rooting for you, kid.
I
'cause we
didn't
love
need to
you.
hear about your toe jam or your toe.
Well, you asked about it.
disfigurement.
I didn't talk about any toe jam. You asked me what was going on with my toe. I went to the doctor yesterday. I had a legitimate reason for going to a doctor. And before I even said two words, you went, When
I
you
don't
do
think
that, it's
it
my
came
favorite
off
thing you
quite
do on the
like
show.
that.
It's my favorite Mayo
I'm going to
performance.
look back at the tape. I don't think I go. I stick up my hands.
I
I
don't think
say
I said.
stop.
I don't think I
I
had.
go
Like seconds into it, and you were like doing one of these.
You did a follow up, and
because
I
I
was,
felt
you don't
the
want to.
spirit.
And then you asked me about it again, and then before I said two things about it, you said, hey, "What are you talking about? Why are you talking about your feet?" Go back. I mean, this is broadcasting 101. Go back. Look at
Well,
that
I'm
and
going to
see
look
what
at
you
the
did
tape.
there. See
No,
what you
I
did
see-
there.
I see what I
I've
did.
done everything right and wrong in
You
this
got
business
very
that you can do. Yeah.
detailed about the disfigurement of your toes, and
Well,
it
it's
just was
an
an image.
unfortunate byproduct of
Didn't go
what happened.
well with the lunch hour, but who am I to talk with me and my prostate? And
Well, I mean, you're blowing chunks the
my
entire show.
urologist.
Your nasal passages are running. Usually, you're drinking spaghetti sauce, and you're worried about me talking about my
Oh,
feet.
by the way, I did want to. I thought I had a bunch of beads in my closet or house somewhere because I've been to places that give out beads, but not New Orleans, but for Mardi Gras. But I couldn't find any beads, and that's good for everybody because if I got the beads, I would have removed my shirt.
I
Which
think
is one of those
some
traditions.
Cajun food would have been appropriate today. Really would have been.
Well,
Well,
do it
yeah.
tomorrow. We'll have some oysters.
Would have.
Kill
I would have loved to have had some yesterday, but circumstances got in the way. I would have had some today on the air as a leftover, but that's it. When life
All right.
hands you lemonades, I'm going to drink hot tea with lemon. Or I don't even know. I'm babbling at this point. I got to
You
go
are.
to the
You
doctor.
really are babbling.
We'll
All right, go back to
Oh,
the
we're
beginning of the
outta
tape there. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next time.
Apologies. I throw myself at your mercy. I hope you still
It's
deign
okay
to
with me.
answer my
I'm telling
questions.
you, there's nothing I haven't experienced in this business, so that doesn't faze me. It really doesn't. But it's okay. I mean, Lubie, I don't know. Lubie knows what I'm talking about,
I think
but he's not taking sides.
both are fun. No, I'm not taking sides. As someone said, it's a great seat. I'm like, I'm not a fan of the arguing.
Well,
But
I mean,
we are. So we are family here.
There's no argument.
We
No.
love.
he seemed to get. He really was wounded. That I like sometimes.
No, not at all. I think if you go back and you check these things out, whenever you ask a guy a question, before the guy answers, or the person, even sometimes with a guest, you chime right in with something else. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to say? There's nothing you can do with that if you're the person on the other end of it, except to say thank you, Michael, for asking.
Can I hear again about your love for the chef Bolas?
I wish Defo luck with his toe, and I wish Mayo luck with not drinking alcohol for 40 days. Wish us luck for dealing with him for the next 40 days.
That's the key. That's the key because I don't know if I'd want to be around myself.
And we'll see you all tomorrow from Even Kill Fish Shack.
That's right. Thank you for taking us out of here. The Robitussin has kicked in, and I'm in a dream state that's somewhere between reality and fantasy. So I will see everybody tomorrow and enjoy every sandwich.